Good day guys, this is your boy one more time, Telex Image. Welcome to my channel once again, and in this tutorial we want to look at how to achieve what we have here, transform what we have from here to what we have here. Okay, fasten your seat belt as we go on this ride. But before we do that, if you're here to subscribe to my channel, please kindly do so, and if you're a returning viewer, thanks so much guys for watching again. Okay, quickly, in this tutorial today we are going to be looking at two things. We want to create a uniform skin tone, and at the same time we want to create a perfect manipulation such as this. If you look at the skin tone, it is uniform with the face, with and every part of the body. They have the same rich skin tone. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Okay, let me navigate straight away to the original image. This is the before. You can see this was how I took the image. This is the raw image. Okay, so in this tutorial I'm going to be dividing this tutorial into a part. We are going to have part 1 and we are going to have part 2. Part 1 is going to center on achieving this skin tone, uniform skin tone, while part 2 is going to be focused on our manipulation that we have here. Okay, so this is to help us manage our time effectively, because I don't want to create a very long video. Okay, so first thing and foremost that I want to do is to work on my skin before I even change the background. A lot of people, depending on the way you want it, some prefer to change their backgrounds first, while some just prefer, but I think in my own case I would love to work on all the skins, do all the skin work before I delve into background manipulation. So I have my actions here. Okay, it's not hard to create these actions, but I won't be going into that. I believe many people knows how to create an action. Okay, so I have my action here, and I'll be using, since it's an 8-bit image here, this is the 8-bit image, I'll be going for the 8-bit here, and I'll play it. Okay, so let's just hold on. Okay, let me reduce the size of these in order to see the part that has the, okay, let me reduce this. Okay, so let me make use of this image here. Okay, so let me look for the part that has the highest texture. So that is the part that has the highest texture to me. So I will now increase this until that texture starts fading out, it becomes blurry little by little, and let me just leave it at 7. Okay, I think I'm okay with 7. Click on my OK as usual. Okay, going to delete this. I'm left with my low and the high frequency. Okay, so this is the skin we want to work on now. So the next thing you are going to do is the whole thing we are doing here right now is called skin retouch. We have to retouch the skin first, do everything we want to do on the skin. Be that as it may, I will have to come to my brush tool and change it to mixer brush tool, and some do prefer to turn off this eye, but I usually don't do that any longer. I used to do that before, but I don't do that anymore. So it depends on what suits you, and that's because of my eyes. Okay, so you look at the pattern of the facial pattern of your model. This, if you look at this, their facial pattern goes this way and this way. So that's how I'm going to be brushing, and not like this. So let me just go into that. Ensure your weight is on 9, load is on 75, mix 90, flow 100, and make sure you are using a clean brush here, which is this. Okay, click on it, let it be a clean brush, and let it be clean brush here as well. Okay, so and the next thing I want to do is just to ensure you're on the low layer here. Okay, so and you begin to brush the face of your model like this. Okay, you can see the way I'm doing it. I'm following the facial pattern of my model. Okay, so I'm done with these parts already. Okay, the areas that has the brighter parts, make sure you brush your brighter part into your shadow, or you brush the brighter parts alone, such as the midtones around here, and brush the shadows alone. Don't ever brush the shadows into your light, I mean the midtones here. So look at how I'm going to do my brighter parts. Okay, just follow that area, follow it this way. Okay, this is going to take a whole lot of time and I don't want to fast forward it. Okay, so just bear with me. Let's go on this ride together. Okay, so you can see I'm now brushing my brighter part into the shadow areas, and that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'll do the same thing. This is where my brighter parts are. Now brush it into my shadows here. Okay, but I won't brush this place into this my brighter part. I won't brush my shadow into my brighter area, or into my midtones, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I'll just leave it this way. So I've now ensured that I brush my brighter parts, I drag it upward. You can see I'm dragging my brush upward into the shadows, not the shadows into your light. Okay, you can see I'm dragging this into the shadows, not like this. It's not like this, it's like this going up. Okay, that is how to make use of your skin tone, to achieve rich skin tone, to do your skin retouch rather perfectly. Okay, so the same thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to do this area alone. Okay, you try as much as possible to leave your midtones. Don't brush your midtones, leave it. Okay, so for the sake of this class, I'll be doing the faces of the model alone, although I will do that of there are other body parts as well, but I won't be showing us how I did that here because of our time, in order for us to maximize our time. Okay, let's do that of this model as well. You can see I'm following the pattern. Okay, let's look at the before and the after. You can see the before and the after. This is our before, this is our after, this is our before, this is our after. Okay, so you can see there is a change. So there is a change rather. So let's this is my shadow area. I'm doing that alone. Okay, I'm just like I said, I'm working on the face, I'm retouching the face alone in this video, but behind the scene I will retouch their body parts because of our time. Okay, so I have to move on to the hand now, but I'll be doing this behind the scene because of our time, like I said earlier. Okay, so I'll see you guys when I'm done with the skin retouching. You're welcome. As you can see, I'm done with the retouching of the skin of our model. Let me show you the before and the after. This is our before, this is our after. This is before, after, so you can see the changes on the skin already. So this is the after. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is what I usually do is, after retouching the skin of my model like this, the whole skin looks dull. So the next thing you want to do is to make it look more enticing. Come to the lasso tool here, and to make it look more fresh, and drag it like this. Okay, I know some people don't do all this, but I just prefer to do mine this way. So going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and okay, so remember the other time I used 7.0 in retouching. So here I'm going, there is a formula I use, which is I multiply it by 3. This 7 times 3 gives me 21, or you can just simply drag it until you feel you've really achieved what you want on the skin. The changes would have been made, so I prefer it this way. So I think I'm good to go this way. Okay, so Ctrl D to deselect. You draw out, to sketch out this area as well, so ensure it does not touch any part of the model, the hair other than the skin. So you can see the changes it's making, and don't forget this has to be on the low frequency. Okay, so let's do that on the whole body of our model repeatedly. But I prefer to avoid the mid-tones as much as I can. I don't try to do that, run into my mid-tones in order not to make it look shabby. Okay, so as you can see the way I'm doing it, just sketch it out that way. Okay, so as you can see, so I will have to skip this process as well. So as you can see, you guys can see that I'm done with the skin retouching already, and the blurring out of the skin to make it smoother. So another thing that I normally do here is, if I have blemishes like spots, for instance, I have little blemishes around the forehead of this model here, and the same applies to this second model here. So, and if you look around the arm of this model here, we have blemishes here. So I won't just leave it like that. I'll go to my high frequency layer, and I'll come to my clone stamp tool, reduce the size of my brush, opacity 100, flow 100, current layer, make sure you're on current layer, and if this one is on black and this is on white, switch it over and let it be on black as usual. So just, you can still reduce the size of my brush further. Hold down your Alt button and left click and click it on the blemished area. Okay, so as you can see, so this, you can see the way it's cleaning off blemishes like that. So just hold on, be holding the Alt button on the clean area and apply that on where you have your spots. Okay, so as you can see this, so I will do this on all the skin where I deem fit that I have to apply this. So I will look for all the areas that has such blemishes. Let me go to the forehead, reduce the size of my brush, and I will apply these on every area that I think it's necessary. So let me do this, let me fast forward this, and I will see you guys by the time I'm done as usual because of our time. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be doing is, if you look at this very well now, the image looks so blurry and so dull. The brighter area and the lighter area are no longer sharp. So we are going to do what is called the global dodge and burn. Yeah, so I have the action here in my system already, so I'll just have to come to my, let me close this, so I'll just have to come to my dodge and burn, play it out, and so since you have it as this, so how do we know where we are going to paint black and where we are going to brush white? So the next thing we will be doing is, if you want to get that perfectly, just close this, come to your adjustment layer, come to your black and white, drag this down, the red, and so if you look at this now, this area, the darker areas are where you are going to burn, and the lighter areas are where you are going to be burning. Okay, so let me just do that straight away from here. Okay, so let me go to burn first. By then I would have changed this to the normal brush tool, so let me go to the burn first. So okay, so I'll just, this darker area for instance, okay, sorry, I have to reduce my opacity to around 15 or thereabouts. So this you can see. Okay, so my darker parts, the darker area, you burn them off. Okay, so same thing applies to this image here. You can see I'm leaving the brighter area, so that is the dodge part of it, and you just, you can see, as you can see, as you can see. So you apply this to, let me see other areas where I need to apply this to. So you can see, okay, okay, so as you can see, so this way, this is the way I'm doing it. Okay, this area. So let me go to my dodge, and let me apply the same thing on the lighter area on the dodge. Okay, so on this area I can just do this. Okay, so the forehead, okay, so the same thing applies to the forehead around here. I'll go back to my dodge around the cheek. Okay, and around the so now let me turn this black and white layer off now. As you can see, just to reduce this a little bit to know what you actually have. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to open up the properties from here. Okay, so I can then reduce my dodge, my feather rate, so that you will see when the amount of dodge is too much, you can usually reduce it with the feather around here. Okay, so as you can see, it's reducing. Let me go back to my done as well. Okay, so you don't let it to be too much. Just that's why you need to zoom out so that you can see how it looks from afar. Okay, so let's turn this off to see what we have. I think I'm okay with this, and if I think it's still too much, I will just reduce it from the opacity here around here. So let me turn this off to see how it actually looks. Okay, so I think I'm good to go with that. So that is all about skin retouching, and in order to get the uniform skin tone that I mentioned earlier, so what we are going to be doing, although I have the skin tones on my system, but the method we are going to be using is the gradient map method. So in order to get the uniform skin tone, so let me teach you a method whereby you can use, and you can also order for the gradient map that I have already, the files that I have. So but let me teach you how to generate yours. Okay, so this is what you are going to do. Let's turn this into one single layer, clone stamp layer. So Ctrl Shift E. You can delete this, we don't need it any longer. So I'll come to my adjustment layer, gradient map. Okay, so when I do that, I'll come back to my background. Okay, so I'll turn this off, come back to my background, and I will double click on this. So just open this up. So depending on what I want to use, so let me open this up. So the moment I open this up, click in between. Let me show you what I did. You double click on this, now click this, and it will open up the gradient editor for you. So the next thing is make sure that everything is solid, the gradient type is solid, smoothness is 100, and this, just double click on this as well. So when you double click on this, now let me zoom in my image. You look for an area that falls within the shadow area on the skin of our model. So this part, for instance, falls within the shadow of our model, this part. Okay, so let me click on this, and you will click on OK. So now we have mapped out a color from this gradient map. So the next thing is you double click on the brighter area as well. So on this brighter area, you look for the area that has the brightest part of the image. So let me just go for the chin, around the cheek area. So here I think it has the brightest part of our image. So this, okay, so and you try to, in between the midpoint here, you try to create a midpoint here, and you double click on it as well. So you look for an area that has a color in between the shadow and the brightest part. So let's look for a color that falls in between our shadow and the brightest part. So I think I'll be going for this part. Okay, so it falls in between, you can see. So we have done the whole mapping out now, and we're going to click on OK. So what we are going to be doing next is to turn on this layer, okay, and come to your blending mode and change it back to color. But as you can see, this does not look good. It's covering the whole of the background and everything. So with this, we are now going to invert this using Control or Command I. Okay, so remember that white reveals and black hides. So the black has hidden that mapping that we did for us now. So with this now, we can just paint out what we earlier did, the gradient map that we earlier did. And when this is on black, this on top here is going to be on white. So now let's paint out. Let me increase this again. Okay, so as you can see that it's giving us another color. It's painting. Now we are just painting the skin alone without affecting the background. Okay, so the same thing applies to this. Remember, what we are doing is to generate a uniform color. Okay, so you need to really need to pay attention here. Okay, so because of our time, I will quickly fast forward this process and I will get back when I'm done. As you guys can see, so let's take a look. I'm done with the whole painting of the skin. So as you can see now, our model has a uniform color from head to toe, and this is what you see sometimes when you see many of the celebrities and models having a kind of different color from what they have in the real life, in real sense. You understand? Having some of you might have even thought that they used to make up the whole body, you know, painting the whole body while they are doing their makeup. No, they only use this method to achieve that. Okay, but if you look at it now, this does not really look good. It's extending to some parts of some places that we don't want it to extend to. For instance, the eye is being painted, the nose and some of the makeup areas are being painted. So how do we remove that? We just switch this back to black. Okay, so and let's see. As you can see, it's cleaning off the mapping that was done there earlier that ran into that area. Okay, so let's just so as you can see, the same thing to these lips, so that we get back our lip color. Okay, same thing applies to this. Okay, so same thing applies to the eyes here. Okay, and around the eyebrow. Okay, so on top of this ear as well, we have it extended there, so just clean it off. Okay, as you can see, and this is how you clean it off. Ensure that this is changed back to black, and if you think you have cleaned overdone it again, just change that back to white and you can always redo it. Okay, so top of the clothes here as well, we have overextended it. Okay, so for the sake of our tutorial, let's just skip these processes and this is how you get it done, and before you know it, you are done. And if you think it's too much, just you can simply reduce it from the opacity here and reduce the opacity. So let's undo it and see what we have done. Okay, as you can see, okay, that's the gradient map before and the after, before and the after. Okay, so but if you look at it, the contrast is gone already. We don't have any contrast on our images here again. So how can we do that? Let's just come to our adjustment layer, come to your curves, and this hand you are seeing here, click on it and just drag this down a little bit. drag this down also a little bit. Okay, so it will bring up some contrast around the area for us. Okay, so I think I'm good to go with this. Okay, so now if you look at it, we have actually, in this first part of our tutorial, we have actually achieved the uniform skin tone. We have retouched the skin of our model as well. So if you enjoy this video, please kindly subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, share this video with your friends and families, and you guys stay tuned in the next video that will be coming up, as I'll be showing you how to extend this from this background, removing this background to the background we have here. See you guys in the next video.